Barnhart here with Cuefeed. I'm going to show you how we go between magazines and newsprint, how quick this is. I've had one printer say that it takes too long. I have no idea what he's talking about. Anyhow, so set our side guides first. Get the width we want. That's good. A little fan on them. Put them in there. I have an inch button you can use to inch it forward. I'm going to go ahead and load my feeder up with my magazines. Maybe we're going to count these for shrink wrapping, or we're going to send these into a 3-knife trimmer. We're going to adjust our tail wedge and bring it back so it just catches the edge of the sheet. And we're going to count these in 10. To get started, I'm going to inch it and make sure that we have a gap between each one. It can't be overlapped, okay? There has to be a break between each one. And that looks pretty good. So the thicker, the easier it is. It's much more forgiving. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and count 10. Count 10 again. 10. Some applications I have people call that they need to wrap their magazines in so many bundles. Speed it up. 10. 10. 10. Speed it way up. A little bit faster. And we don't have enough to do another 10, but I'll run them out. Alright, now, so there's your magazines. Now we're going to move on to newsprint. Okay? So we take these are 8.5, 5.5 sheets of newsprint the customer wants to insert on a production line. So I'm going to move the side guides in. Set the width. We know the foot has to come down because it's thinner. I'm going to fan it out a little bit as I put it in. Get the first ones in, like that. Move the next ones in, and definitely I need to adjust my back wedge. We're going to have to move it forward. There are several adjustments on the back wedge. There's a plate on it that you can slide forward. And there's also a set screw in the back that allows it to slide forward. So I'm going to move it up. We're going to get just right up under the sheet so we can support it. That way we don't have too much contact with the belts. With newsprint, we just want to grab. We don't want the belt. We don't want the belt to sit on the whole thing when it's sitting in the feeder. We just want the belt to grab the leading edge because it's so thin. It's not going to take much to feed it. So we got our inch button here. I'll go ahead and use it to begin with. Once again, we're feeding a bunch, right? So we got to get it so it's only feeding one. I got to move my delivery wheels back a little bit. Can't have too much pressure on the foot or it'll wrinkle the sheet. So I'm going to raise so I raised up the back wedge a little bit so it had lead pressure on the belt. Alright? Now, this customer wants to feed one of these on top of these golf ball boxes. They're very high-end custom golf balls. So it's 3 boxes, and then on the production line, this will insert a sheet of paper on top. Alright, well that was batching. So, you can see we have doubles. Now I raised up on the back wedge a little bit. You want to take off just enough pressure so we only get one. Here you have it. There's your newsprint. There'll be a photo eye, so when the sets of boxes come, this will put one right on top. It'll keep them from scratching. There you have it, Brent with Cuefeed, going from a 9x12 catalog envelope down to 8.5 by 5.5 newsprint. Your adjustments are your foot up and down. How many rubber belts do you want? In this case, we are using, we used only 2 belts. 2 belts to feed the magazine, 2 belts to feed the newsprint, and we used only 1 friction foot. So we adjusted this down for the newsprint. It was a little higher for the magazines. We did not adjust the belts. And on the tail support, we were way back on that because the magazines, obviously, the magazines are this deep, so the tail support's back here. For these, the tail support's way up here. And for these, for the magazine, I just kind of support it like this, but for the newsprint, the tail support's way up underneath it like this. So just so that the front touches. And once again, I lower the foot down until it won't feed. Then you can't obviously lower the foot down anymore. So come to your back wedge back here, lift up on it, raise up on it, make your adjustments back here, and you'll feed this all day long without an issue. I would assume if I made this video and went back and forth between these 2 substrates again and again, I could probably make this adjustment in 3 to 5 minutes at the most and have the machine running nice and smooth. Thanks.